Recording.
Today I'm on my 2020 Rocket 3. Did a review on this bike a few years ago when I first got it. Uh, this video is just to actually talk about the differences between More Mafia ECU flash and Brenn ECU flash. So currently bike has 41,674 miles. I've had it for 3 years, bought it in 2022. Had 700 miles on it when I bought it. So that's the bike there. Great bike. It's been an awesome bike so far. Really haven't had any issues with this thing other than a battery. Uh, it was actually in the dealership the other day for some sort of recall on a battery fuse, but other than that, and 41,000 miles, have not had a single issue with this thing. This thing gets ridden hard. On my days off, I also have a 27 CBR or 2017 CBR 1000 R, and both bikes get ridden the same. I bounce back and forth between both bikes. On my days off, I'll grab one of these and take it to the hill country here in Texas. Kind of give it some spirited riding through the twisties. I've taken this bike on a few long trips. Actually, recently took it to Colorado and was ripping up in the mountains with a buddy of mine that has uh, he's got a Yamaha sports bike. Forget what the heck he has, but yeah. So this thing, it's been up in the mountains in South Dakota, Arkansas, Colorado, and gets pretty spirited on this. And yeah, this thing is just as nimble as my CBR. This thing handles really well. But when I first bought this bike, I actually got it tuned through Brenn Tuning because at the time I believe they were the first ones that actually did ECU flashes on this bike. And for those of you that are familiar with Brenn Tuning, they send you the handheld, and the tune is on the handheld, and you basically just load it that way. So at the time, this was in their, I guess, their beta phase of tuning. Like they were still, I guess, making improvements to the tunes on the bikes. So their tune was offered at a discounted rate at the time. So I went ahead and tuned it with them, and I left that tune on here for about 3 years, and finally, More Mafia ended up doing tunes for these bikes because he got a. For those that follow him, but those that don't follow him, he bought himself his own personal Rocket 3, and he started tuning on these Rocket 3s. So I've always been a More Mafia tune person. I've had a bunch of bikes that he's tuned for me in the past. So I really was wanting him to tune this bike, but he just didn't offer a tune for it at the time. So when he finally did, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to send the ECU to him and just kind of compare his tune and the Brenn tune. Um, and I'll be 100% honest with you, this bike runs exactly the same as it did with the Brenn tune, with his tune on it. Like literally, the only difference that I noticed is that with More Mafia's tune, the bike idles maybe a couple hundred RPMs lower. So it took me a bit to get used to that at first. Stalled the bike a couple of times just because the RPMs were lower than I was used to. So, but other than that, this thing runs exactly the same as it did with a Brenn tune. Uh, Power still feels exactly the same. It still, comes on exactly the same. Like there's no difference in power delivery or anything. So, yeah, I mean this thing. I was surprised. I was expecting there to be, some sort of a difference between the two tunes. I don't know which one I was expecting to perform better, but I wasn't expecting them both to perform exactly the same. To me, the fueling feels the same at light throttle and in heavy throttle. Yeah, I really, I'm sure if I put this on a dyno back to back with both tunes, there's differences and the fueling maps and the timing maps and all that. But as far as from my perspective of just riding this bike every day, almost every day, and really just, feeling it out for myself, the two tunes feel identical. Um, so which one would I recommend over the other? Honestly, I mean, it's personal preference. The brenn tune allows you the option to go back to stock should you need to. It's got the stock tune loaded on the handheld. So, say you were taking your bike in for warranty work at the dealership, you can flash it back to stock before you take it to the dealership and then put the brenn tune back on your bike when you got it back home. Unfortunately, More Mafia's tune doesn't allow you that option. So, I still have my brenn tune handheld, so if I ever, for whatever reason needed to go back to stock on this thing, at least I do have another tune that I could load into this thing. Unfortunately, I'd lose that money on the More Mafia tune, but it's an option. So the brenn tuning allows you that versatility, whereas More Mafia doesn't. But as far as a performance standpoint, to me they feel exactly the same. Yeah, so I can't really recommend one or the other. I guess the other deciding factor would be price. Brenn Tune, their prices are probably double what More Mafia is. I don't know if that's because they give you a handheld or why their prices are so much higher, but the More Mafia tune cost me, I think it was right at $400, maybe a tiny bit less. And from what I remember looking at the website for brenn tune, their brenn tune package is like $800 or $900 for this bike. So that could be a determining factor for somebody out there. Like I said, I really don't know why the price difference is so high, especially since they perform, in my opinion, exactly the same. But whatever the reason is whatever the reason is. So, yeah, so that's just some information for anybody out there that may be on the fence as to which company to go with when they're looking for a tune for their Rocket 3. Again, this is a 2020, so the newer generation. But yeah, other than that, the only modifications I have done to this bike is the tune. The air filter is bone stock. The exhaust is bone stock. Everything on this thing is all stock. And I actually just did a service on this thing myself right before I took it to Colorado. I changed the spark plugs, changed the air filter, all that good stuff, oil, all that good stuff with the service. I still have to do a couple of things. Got to change the fuel filter, and I need to change the differential oil, well, the shaft oil. Sorry, I used to be a car guy. I have to change the shaft oil, which I'll do sometime soon. But yeah, from a performance standpoint, uh, you really can't go wrong either way, either company. I know there's Two Wheel Dyno Works out there. I don't know if they tune these bikes. You'd have to look it up. But as far as just brenn tune and More Mafia, again, these tunes are, to me, identical in terms of feel, power delivery, smoothness. Um, yeah, so I'm actually on my way to work here, about to hit the highway. So when I get around these cars, I will try to do a little bit of a pull just so you can. I mean, those of you that are familiar with these bikes know that these bikes pull hard. I mean, stock form or with a tune. But so it's third gear. So this bike pulls pretty dang hard, especially especially since it's got almost 42,000 miles on it. I mean, I do my best to take care of the bike. So, but yeah, that's about it. Hope this helps somebody out there.